Well, greetings and welcome back to another Perspectives. And I really wasn't sure what I would be speaking about after the previous video of shifting frequencies, because sometimes things come across my radar and make me think about certain things, and other times, there's nothing specific that I really want to talk about. And I wasn't sure what would come up, and I never force anything, as the great singer-songwriter Al Stewart used to sing, "If it doesn't come naturally, leave it," one of his songs. And then, of course, today arrived, and today, as I'm recording this, it is the morning of Tuesday, March the 21st, which means that is literally the morning of a new year, because we've just had the spring equinox, and in many cultures that marks the beginning of the spring and the new year. And of course, what it also is happening is that, of course, we're having so much information on the social media and in the videos, all talking about this powerful equinox and the new energies coming in, and then these kind of galactic upgrades we're having around this time and everything, and it's really actually quite overwhelming. Now, we've always had this information, and I do actually support the science behind astrology, because obviously the movement of the spheres in the cosmos do affect all things within the cosmos. But now it just seems that there's an overwhelming stuff all coming out, and there's a lot of talk about this time, and it makes me realize that when I consider this, I really have to say to myself that I don't know a lot. Even after all these years of investigating and inner delving and inner seeking, when it comes down to it, that we humans don't really know what's going on. We can have certain ideas and intuitions. We can have certain we can feel that we have communications and certain information is passed to us. But I think we have to also say to ourselves that we may have a glimpse of some things happening, but we don't really know what's going on, do we? We've only really just come out of our bubble of this limited understanding, where until recently we didn't really have an understanding of what life in the cosmos meant, and we really have no idea of where we came from and where we're going to in any actionable way. But what we do know is that we are going through great times of change, but then again, change has always happened. All life is change, nothing is static. If it's static, then eventually it falls away, moves out of the path. But yes, we are going through some accelerated occurrences right now, and this came to me several years ago, and in 2017 I sat down to write a book about all this kind of wave of intensity of overstimulation and uncertainty and manipulation. And after all the books that I've written, I felt just came a time where I felt like this book needed to be written. And it was published in 2018, and it was the Bardo Times. And the Bardo Times has a subtitle: Hyperreality, High Velocity, Simulation, Automation, Mutation, a Hoax. And I think it was I think it was a bit of a turning point in my writing, where I started to look at these shenanigans, or the theatre of the absurd, as I call it. And then actually then later, a few months later, I decided that I would take each chapter from that book and turn it into a condensed poem of each chapter. And in fact, in 2019, I did release a kind of sister volume to it, which is called the Bardo Times, a narrative poem in 12 parts. So each of the 12 chapters became a poem. And then a few months later, I took each of those poems and I made a musical album from it with a colleague, Mario Hydrocognitiva, and we released the album in 2019. Of course, both books on the album quickly fell off the radar. I think, you know, they got just a very minimal attention, but that is the way it goes. And so what I was talking about is that in this time, the Bardo realm, which comes from Buddhism, the Buddhist term is that between lives we enter this realm called the Bardo, and that's where we try to evaluate what we did in our lives, what we wish to encounter in the next life, and we try to, you know, evaluate and consider between lives. But sometimes when you enter the Bardo realm, depending on how you left the previous life, you can enter in a very disorientated manner, and it takes you a while to acclimatize. So in the book Bardo Times, I was saying that we are metaphorically and allegorically in this Bardo period now, where we're leaving one kind of reality life, a reality model, or a kind of stage of civilization, and we're moving into the other. But one hasn't finished yet, and the other one hasn't started yet. So we're in that time, like a Bardo realm, between these ages, or between these realities. And it's a time of disorientation, a time of great uncertainties, a great sometimes intensities and overstimulation, as well as simulation and replica, and everything gets muddled, and it can be very confusing. And at such times, there is bound to be a human response where many people come forward and say, I'm going to tell you what's going on, I'm going to, you know, help to steer this ship, and many voices start shouting, and it can get very kind of, I'm the truth, or listen to this is happening, and you know, it's a time where we need great discernment. And so I actually released yes, Pampy. I actually released a video to introduce this series of the Bardo Times, and my dear friend Ibolia made a great music video for it, just 2 minutes long, to introduce the themes. So I thought, and that was actually, I have it here on the YouTube list, and it was published in January the 24th, 2019. So that's just over 4 years ago. And so far it's had 199 views in over 4 years. Of course, I'm not interested in quantity or how many people view or not. But I thought that it's timely that I would show it again here, because what I'm thinking of doing is, just like I'm doing in my video essays, I think I would like to re-record my narration of the Bardo Times in each chapter of the 12 chapters, because I feel that perhaps it's even more relevant now than when I wrote and published it, or still as relevant at least. And maybe putting it in another format with a kind of audio video reading will help to put it, to share it, and to put it out there. So I think I'm going to do that. So as an introduction to this new wave of the Bardo Times, I thought I would show the video. So it's coming right now here.
There's something going on, but you don't know what it is, do you, Mr. Jones? Now there's something going on. A sense of malaise, an eerie disquiet, an alienated soul. There's a battle for our attention. Look, we're being deliberately distracted from ourselves, distracted from what is really going on in the world. We're living in a modern world of hype and hyper-reality. Welcome to the Bardo times. It's not about what we think or know, or what we believe we know. It's about how we feel deep within us. We have to feel in order to distinguish between what is the real and what is fantasy. Once we lose this, then we are adrift. We're floating. These are the times we're in. Times of wild speculations, the spectacular, the false, the fear-mongering, the hyper-reality, the high velocity, the simulation, the automation, the mutation, the hoax. Welcome to the Bardo times.
And that was the video. So quite a punchy video with the images and the music there. But of course, what it was saying is that, we are living in a time of wild speculations, a lot of illusions and delusions, and and there's a lot of high intensity going on, and a lot of hyper reality. And so it's very important that we have this time of discernment to be grounded, because there's so much swirling around us. We are literally in this kind of Bardo realm trying to orientate ourselves. And right now, at this March equinox, there's even more information coming in. It's like we're downloading it so quickly. It's making us nervous. And I did a quick scan of some videos online, and some people talking about these, these galactic energies and this and that going on. And it's like, okay, we need some kind of context, but not too much of this overload. And so literally, just this morning, about 1 hour ago, I sat down to write a poem about really trying to summarize what's going on according to what's out there. And the poem is based on all that's being said in the domain out there right now. I've just kind of put it together into a cheeky little poem. It's called A New Earth. And I put a new earth dedicated to the lunar new moon equinox, March the 20th, going through to the 21st and 22nd, 2023. So, are we ready to the summary of what's going on in the Bardo realm? Okay. A new earth, a new dawn, a golden age is arising. A new world order will be replaced by the new human. A galactic energy wave is approaching. Our holy sun is preparing for the mighty micronova to upgrade life on this planet. Human DNA will mutate in order to recalibrate for the new vibrational frequencies. Pluto is moving into Aquarius. A new energy will break down the nefarious powers that darken and control the world. A new Earth Kundalini is arising within the high mountains of the Andes as the magnetic pole of the planet resettles into a new home position. This is the moment now to question all our institutions of authority as they parade their luciferic fantasies dressed in the emperor's new clothes. The deep underground military bases where men mingle with reptilians and the Nordics will not protect them from what's coming as the ascension harvests the higher frequency ones of humankind. The phoenix shall arise from the ashes of the old as the great reset gets replaced by the great awakening. The dragon lines of the planet are bulging with the energy to establish a new Gaia grid system, attuned to liquid crystalline light to flow through the veins of the new earth. Photonic light streams are cleansing the human DNA to bring us the new dawn of a new earth day. This is our great cosmic destiny, as we are welcomed by the Ishtar command of the Galactic Federation to join our sisters and brothers for a new age of love and light. A new earth, a new dawn, a golden age is arising, and the new human shall walk like gods across the earth and the skies. These are the final days before the great apocalypse, the great revelation that we have been preparing for. Behold a pale horse, the cleansing is upon us. The days are here for the new human to become what we were always destined for. Arise now and be counted as the fifth dimension beckons. Humanity has arrived at the great transition and a new earth awaits. So, with all that going on, it seemed like we're in for quite a busy time. And so, let us reiterate that it's okay to not know all that's going on. And in some ways, that's not a bad thing, because we may blow a fuse if we really knew all that was going on, because a lot of it is outside our comprehension. Now, I've said before that we need to get an understanding, general understanding of the 3D world and what's going on other levels, but not at the expense of our own sanity. We have to be balanced, because for whatever's coming, whatever it may be, there's no better way to greet it than from a place of harmony, balance, and sanity and groundedness. So if we don't know what's going on, we can do the next best thing, work on ourselves to be in the best place possible, especially in these Bardo times. So that's my thought for this equinox, and hope that it's landed on solid ears, and maybe in the upcoming days and weeks, or rather weeks, I'll be putting out some updates on my Bardo Times narrative poem in 12 parts, because hey, why not? I'm not going anywhere right now. So all the best, stay well, stay grounded, cheers.